This is how my Minecraft world looks, and by the end of this video, it's going to look like absolute chaos, because in this video, I am going to be Google translating Minecraft blocks 1,000 times. I found a list of the most popular Minecraft blocks, and we're going to be starting with some of the blocks you can find in the overworld. This is a dirt block, and we're going to be turning it into an obstacle. Okay, so I just made a hurdle out of the dirt, and then I added a white background in the back. Next, we are translating a grass block, and we got animal. Obviously, you guys already know what animal I'm going to pick for this one, so I drew a yellow head, and then I gave the duck an orange beak. For an oak log, I got blog, so I drew a computer monitor on top of the oak log like this, because you usually would read a blog on a computer. I don't know if blogs even still exist though. Like, when was the last time you read a blog? For oak leaves, we got oak leaves with a period on the end, so I drew a bunch of circles on top of the leaves, which are supposed to be periods. And then for tall grass, I got sheep. So we'll just paste a picture of a sheep's head on top of the grass like this. This is actually kind of scary, having sheep heads like this all over the world. Next, we'll translate some sand. Canada. For this one, I took the Canada flag and made it fit into the size of a block. Now we can do oak planks and the table. I cut a little table part out of the wood plank like this, and then I added some table legs underneath as well. We'll also add a blue background like this, because I don't know what happens if you leave it transparent. For water, we got underwater, so I drew some scuba gear on top of the water, because you need scuba gear to dive underwater, and that concludes all of our overworld blocks. As you can see, this world is looking really weird already. I mean, there's ducks all over the floor, sheep staring at me, but this is only the beginning, because by the end of the video, this world will look completely different. So next, let's do some cave blocks. In a cave, you'll find stone everywhere, and we got at a distance. I just shrunk the stone down so that it appears to be very far away. Deep slate is also abundant in caves, and we got blackstone. Blackstone is already a real block, so I just put the texture of blackstone over the deep slate. It does look a little bit messed up though, because I forgot to change the top. For tuff, I got difference, so I just made the top half of the tuff have a difference in lighting like this, and then for the gravel, it translated to conscience, so I put a brain over top of the gravel like this. I wonder what the gravel is thinking of right now, guys. I wonder what it's thinking of. Next, let's do andesite, and we got alive. For this one, I just drew a face over top of the andesite like this. Now let's do granite, and we got freedom. The bald eagle is usually associated with freedom, so I just drew an eagle over top like this. Now we have a duck and an eagle. For diorite, we got great, so I colored it green and put a check mark on top, so now it's great. And we haven't done any ores yet, so next I translated iron ore, and we got metallic. I changed the stone background to make it look metallic instead, like this. Next, for coal ore, I got I work, so I tried to make it look like the coal ore is wearing a miner helmet, so now the coal ore can mine for itself. This one's a little weird if you think about it. Now let's do diamond ore. They sell crystals. For this one, I just made an amethyst crystal take place of the diamonds. Next, I did copper ore and ended up replacing the copper with teeth, and then I did amethyst as salt. And now the overworld and the caves are looking very different, but we are just getting started. Now it's time to venture into the nether, but first we gotta take another look at these caves. I mean, this is something. The most common block in the nether is netherrack. We got Netherlands. Just like earlier with the Canada flag, I drew a Netherlands flag over top of the netherrack. Next, we'll do nether quartz. We got no city. For this one, I kinda did the opposite. Instead of drawing no city, I just drew a city. It was either that or do nothing, because quartz already has no city. For nether gold, we got I am asleep, so I drew some Z's on top of the nether gold to make it look like it's asleep. Guys, be quiet. We don't want to wake up the nether gold. And for nether bricks, I got clay brick. Clay bricks already exist in Minecraft, so I just put the brick texture over the nether bricks. Next, we'll do ancient debris. Okay, we got this place. I drew a nice little house on top of the ancient debris like this. Now let's do blackstone. We got bye. This is a hand waving goodbye on top of the blackstone. Next, I'm gonna do lava. Network. For this one, I just decided to draw a router on top of the lava. Does anyone else think this kind of looks like a face? For soul sand, it gave me oh my god, so I drew a Bible on top of the soul sand. And then for soul soil, I got the soul of the universe. Sounds kind of ominous. I tried to fit a whole picture of the universe into a block. That's the Milky Way right there, guys. I don't know if you can see it. Now let's do a warped stem. The idea is the opposite. The opposite of a warped stem is a crimson stem, so I just did that. And next I did warped wart. Okay, I don't really know what that means. I translated it and it means I'll have to fight, so I put a couple swords on top of the block. Next, let's do warped nylium. We got durable nylon. This is nylon, I think. Maybe it's yarn actually, but it's the best I could do. Now let's move on to some crimson things. Red stone. I could have just left the redstone block like this, but I decided to blend it into the crimson stem as well. Next, we'll do nether wart block. And we got rest. For this one, I just drew a bed on top of the block. For the last nether block, I did crimson nylium, and I got blue raspberries. I just turned the block blue because it kind of looks like raspberries already. Now this is another region of the game successfully translated, and I really like how all the biomes look way different this time. I kind of forgot to translate basalt though, so we can just leave these areas alone. And now that we've been to the nether, we have to make it to the end. So next it's time for some stronghold blocks. Shipping company. FedEx is a shipping company, so I put half of the logo on the side and the other half on the top. Next, let's do the eye on the portal. We got 4 things. Instead of the 4 we got, I decided to use the number instead, and I put 4 ender eyes instead of 1. Next, for stone bricks, I got country road. So I drew a road, then I put some grass on the sides, and finally I added some sky on the top. And for spawner, I got image. So I just put an image on top of the spawner. You guys will never find out what image this actually is. Next, let's do a bookshelf. And we got the library. I put 2 bookshelves here, and next I added a wall in the background to make a library. And now let's do a chest. Square. I just put a big red square over top of the entire texture. This kind of looks like one of those Christmas chests that Minecraft usually has. There is a bit of cobblestone in a stronghold, so let's do that. Something appears. I drew a magic wand with a top hat beside it because magicians usually make stuff appear. Now let's do mossy stone bricks. Croc. I put a lightning McQueen croc on top of the block texture. I think they should just replace whatever block this is with this block. I mean, this looks way better. For cracked stone bricks, I got a broken brick, so I just made a bunch of holes in the brick like this, and now our stronghold is pretty much done, as you can see. And this looks very bad. I mean, why would anyone want their stronghold to look like this? But now we can enter the end for our final set of blocks. Let's start with the most common one, the last stone. Sounds like a movie. I just cut a single stone out of the texture like this. Next, we'll do obsidian. Wait, I tried to draw a hand on top of the obsidian telling you to wait, but it does not look like a hand. Now let's do an end crystal. We got glass process. I just changed every part of the texture to the glass part like this. It's still technically an end crystal if you think of it. For bedrock, I got table, so I just made a bedrock table. And for a chorus plant, I got factory unit, so I drew a somewhat detailed factory. I especially like the prison window in the top. Next, let's do a chorus flower. Flower song. I drew one of those music symbols on top of the flower like this. Now we'll do purpur. Okay, we got agreement. I drew a contract on top of the purpur because a contract is an agreement. Purpur pillars also exist, so let's do that next. We got purple. Purpur pillars are already purple, so I just made them even more purple like this. To finish off the end, we have endstone bricks as some kind of base, and we have an ender chest as everything is alright. This doesn't really look how I expected it to turn out. And with the end finished, we have successfully turned our game from normal to completely cursed. Here's a quick recap. First, we have the cursed overworld right here, and then we have our weird looking caves as well. Next, here are some different parts of the nether, and then we have the translated stronghold as well. Finally, I bring you the cursed end dimension, which could honestly be my favorite, as it still looks kinda like the regular end dimension despite being cursed.